What's going on, guys? Ready Reader here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Deadpool 3. Yes, my most anticipated movie of the year has finally released. I've been extremely excited to see it, and I have thoughts. Now, I will be going into spoilers because it's going to be pretty much impossible to discuss this film without talking about what actually happens in the movie, so you've been warned. So Deadpool 3, it opens up with Deadpool dancing to Bye 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 as he murders a bunch of TVA agents with Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, and it was absolutely amazing. I love how you would just have some random object slow motion into the camera and then it has somebody's name on it. It was so creative and funny to watch. Deadpool, he had the moves. Like, I don't think that was Ryan Reynolds that was dancing, because it was just way too good. It was a really great way to open the film. It really set the tone for the rest of the movie, because going in, you might be a little nervous, you know? You couldn't even tell this wasn't a Disney. The only difference is now Deadpool has more toys to play with. He has more characters to interact with. I went to this movie wanting to see the long-awaited Wolverine and Deadpool movie. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, they are iconic at this point as Wolverine and Deadpool. Hugh Jackman has been playing Wolverine for over 2 decades. He can basically do this in his sleep now. He is iconic as Wolverine. And I was very satisfied with the film. They have great chemistry. They play off each other really nice. You really buy that these characters hate each other at certain points. And you also buy that they really kind of connect with each other at certain points. Like when we get to the end of the film and they have to work together to stop Cassandra Nova. The CGI for the most part was pretty good. I don't have really any complaints with that. We have some great fight scenes. They're very bloody. My favorite fight scene probably has to be either the opening scene or when Wolverine and Deadpool are fighting. All the Deadpool variants. It was just so great seeing Wolverine with his mask on and Deadpool slaughtering a bunch of Deadpools. And I was thinking to myself while watching the fight scene, wait a minute. Can't these guys all regenerate? And then sure enough, right after they're done, quote-unquote, killing all of them, they all just raise right back up like some zombies. Yeah, the fight scenes in here, they're very bloody. They're just very gruesome. And they're well shot. I want to say Deadpool vs. Wolverine is one of my favorite fight scenes in the film, but it's kind of pointless when they fight. Every time Deadpool and Wolverine fight in this movie, I kind of just felt like it was a bit of a waste of time. It's more for their characters, so you kind of get the vibe of how much they hate each other. Because these are two characters who pretty much cannot die. So watching them fight is kind of pointless, unless you cut off a limb or something. That might be a little more difficult. Now, let's get into the cameos. These are the big secrets we've all been waiting to hear about. What has this movie been hiding? Well, not much. Honestly, I feel like there really isn't even that much to spoil about this movie, because the cameos are pretty lame. We get Henry Cavill as a Wolverine variant. That was pretty good. It only lasted like 20 seconds. It didn't affect the movie at all. And it was nice seeing Henry Cavill as Wolverine. He looked pretty badass. Chris Evans appears as Johnny Storm, which was fine, but it didn't really feel like Johnny Storm. It just felt like Chris Evans came on set and it was like, I'm going to act however I want to. He didn't feel like he was playing an actual character. But I guess it was kind of funny when Deadpool thought he was Captain America and he just says flame on. And then when he dies and he's like, did you know what that guy was doing to the budget? That was all pretty funny. There's some great humor in this film. We'll get to that in a minute. Jennifer Gardner as Elektra. Pretty lame. Who cares about this character in 2024? Like, does she have fans? Does anybody even care about that? I feel like the general audience is going to look at most of these cameos and be like, who was that? Because nobody in 2024 remembers that god-awful Elektra movie that came out back in like 2003, 2004. Wesley Snipes as Blade appears. He has a pretty aggressive cameo. He has a line in the film where he's like, there's only ever going to be one Blade. Which is very odd considering Marvel is trying to get a new Blade off the ground. They've been trying for like 5 years. So for him to come in here and say that, if I were Mahershala Ali, I'd be kind of pissed off. Like, yo, why would y'all let him say this in the movie when you know I'm trying to be the next Blade? But hey, it was kind of funny though, because he might be right. Seeing Channing Tatum as Gambit was actually kind of cool because he never got a chance to actually play as Gambit. And it's probably a perfect opportunity for him to appear in this movie because he works great as a more comedic Gambit instead of we gotta take this guy seriously sort of Gambit because his costume looks ridiculous, his accent sounds ridiculous, which leads to a lot of great humor in the movie where Deadpool's is like, what is Gambit saying? I think what Gambit was trying to say is all that stuff was just funny because a lot of times it was like, I don't even know what the fuck you just said, man. Yeah, I like that Channing Tatum got a chance to play Gambit. He was fine in the film. X-23 from Logan appears, and it doesn't really mean much because this is a completely different Wolverine. This isn't the same character that sacrificed himself for her. So all she can basically say is, you remind me of him. We get a great emotional scene with her and Logan when they're by the campfire. And that was a pretty good scene. Hulk also appears in the film, but unfortunately he only lasts like 5 seconds. It's like, can you just give us like 1 more minute? I just wanted to see Hulk and Wolverine at least throw a punch or two at each other. That would have been so cool. So yeah, as far as the cameos, I'm kind of disappointed. I was expecting more of like, a Wolverine versus Hulk or, Spider-Man to show up and interact with Deadpool. Something along those lines. I don't know. A lot of these cameos were just kind of whack. And we also didn't get Storm or Jean Grey, Cyclops, none of the X-Men. And I get the movie's only 2 hours, but I still feel like you could have replaced the cameos in this movie with literally anybody else besides Laura. And it wouldn't have made a difference. I think Laura is the only one where you kind of needed that to be that character as far as our scenes with Logan. But everybody else, you can replace them with anybody and it would just be no difference. So yeah, the cameos are kind of lame. Paradox and Cassandra Nova, they're also just Paradox got really annoying after a while. He just kept spinning out monologues and a bunch of speeches about, oh, the thing is going to blow up and destroy the entire timeline. That's literally him throughout the entire film. I thought he was just going to be in the beginning of the film, but then he keeps appearing back up throughout the movie, and I'm just like, I don't really care about this guy. Can we just go back to Deadpool and Wolverine, please? So unfortunately, this character, every time it cuts to him, I feel like the movie kind of slows down a bit. Cassandra Nova, she's fine. I mean, I'm going to remember her whole finger in your face thing that she does in the movie. But outside of that, she's just kind of forgettable. She seems pretty overpowered. Wolverine and Deadpool literally impale her, and she's fine. And I'm like, I thought you were basically just another Charles Xavier. How can you not die from being stabbed? So she seemed pretty much of an overpowered character, and the only way to kill her apparently was by putting a helmet on her head. She started the story though. She's just fine. It's nothing you're gonna remember. She's just there to be the antagonist of the movie. I never really emotionally connected to the movie. The closest was Logan tearing apart Wade in the car when he's like, you couldn't even fix your relationship with a stripper. How are you gonna fix the entire universe? And then Wade's just sitting there silent. And it's like, you never see Wade Wilson get out-mouth. So that scene was pretty great. You can tell he really crossed the line there when he started ribbing into Deadpool. But outside of that, and probably the campfire with Logan and Laura, I didn't really care about Deadpool saving his world. Like, I know these characters from the past movies, but I hear they only get maybe 2 scenes. That's pretty much it. They're basically sidelined to just sitting in the apartment. Well, it's kind of disappointing because this is a Deadpool movie and there's pretty much no Deadpool characters in here. I think this movie might be even funnier than the past Deadpool movies. Typically with Deadpool's humor, you may not laugh, but you still kind of gotta admire that no other character is gonna talk like this. I mean, when else are we gonna get a character in a movie that actually acknowledges that the universe is at a low point? That was one of my favorite lines in the movie when he's like, "Welcome to the MCU. You're coming in at a bit of a low point." He says that to Wolverine. And it's funny because it's true. And it's funny how they acknowledge the stuff in the movie. You'll never hear that with any other character in a movie but Deadpool. So he's gotta be unique just for that alone. Also, it was hilarious when he was making fun of Gambit's accent throughout the film. And when Johnny dies, like I said, he says a line about, "Did you know what he was doing to our budget?" And that scene when Nicepool dies was pretty hilarious. At first, I didn't really like this character. I was like, what is going on here? Why is Ryan Reynolds making a cameo as some guy with long hair and an ugly dog? But it pays off when you see how he dies. It's pretty funny. Kidpool and Babypool were also pretty hilarious. Kidpool only gets like 1 line, but it's so funny just hearing a kid's voice. say such a terrible, dirty line. And Baby Pool, he was just adorable. I love the Deadpool variants. They're all pretty cool and interesting. We get like a samurai Deadpool, a robot looking Deadpool, a lady Deadpool, which is funny seeing the entire internet freak out about who is Lady Deadpool. And then we get to the movie, and as I figured, we never even see who it is. I don't think it was Taylor Swift. Everybody's saying it was Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' wife in real life. She probably wasn't in the suit, but she probably just did the voiceover. That's the cool thing about Deadpool. He's completely covered from head to toe. So you can have pretty much anybody in the suit and then just have somebody else do the voiceover. But yes, Deadpool and Wolverine, aka Deadpool 3. I really enjoyed this film. I was a little disappointed with the cameos. Villain was kind of lame, but outside of that, you get what you want, which is Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds having a great buddy movie. Wolverine is like the perfect straight man to Deadpool's humor. It's hilarious, it's entertaining, it's very bloody and gory at times. Like when Cassandra Nova just rips Human Torch's skin right off, that just shocked the hell out of me. I never seen anything like that in a movie. But is this movie going to save the MCU? Well, it's going to take a lot more than one movie to save the MCU. I'm so glad this movie is probably about to shut out of the box office because it's actually a pretty good movie. This might be my favorite Deadpool movie just because we actually get Deadpool and Wolverine interacting throughout the entire movie, which makes it more entertaining because we have two legends in the lead roles. Luckily though, they didn't ruin Logan's legacy, which they addressed as soon as the film opens up. It's like, so, how do you think we're going to do this? Well, we're not going to touch Logan. And then it opens with him digging up Logan's corpse, and then he just kills all the TVA agents with his corpse. That was just so hilarious and funny. So yeah, have you guys seen Deadpool 3? And if so, what do you think? Is this your favorite Deadpool movie? Were you actually satisfied with the cameos? For me, I just felt like they're kind of lame. You know, they could have done a little better with that, but the cameos don't make or break the movie. So I didn't really care that much, but I was just kind of more excited to see what surprises they've been hiding for so long, and then when you find out what it is, it's like, oh. Bunch of old characters from extremely old movies that the general audience isn't going to even recognize. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video.